G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. Look what I've got here. It's another FPV video visor. This time it's the BvOne from BvOne, which is an RCTimer brand. And they've sent this in to me to take a look at. And first of all, I'll explain what they've tried to achieve with this video visor. You'll notice it's actually quite small, quite compact, and it's very, very light. They've tried to make the visor less of a bulky appendage to your face and more of a lightweight, easy to transport, high performance device that can give you a good FPV experience for the minimum amount of money. Shall we see if they've achieved that? So first of all, let's take a bit of a walk around, a bit of a tour around the BvOne. It has an EPS. This is polystyrene, I think, maybe EPO. I'll have to look at the instructions. What does it say? I think it's EPS, blah, blah, blah. EPP. It says EPP, so there you go. It doesn't look like EPP, but it is, I guess. EPP box. And unlike the Hobby King or the Turnigy video visor, the original one, it doesn't have a oversleeve. It's got some plastic built in here just to hold everything together. That's quite nice. That helps keep the weight down, and it makes it more convenient. It's very clean to look at. There's not much hanging off it. The interesting thing you probably, half of you will have already noticed, and the other half will notice shortly is, look, 2 antennas it comes. It has diversity, receiver diversity, which is great because none of the other low-cost video visors have diversity. And I've looked at the Kylan and the Quantum Cyclops. Neither of those offer diversity, so that's a point in favour of this little unit. Now, it has the traditional sort of straps over your head thing. These are elasticized, wing, 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 which makes it easy to get off and on, but I have to question how long it'll last in the summer sun. I'll do a follow-up at the end of our summer, let you know which of these visors has lasted and which of them has perished and rotted. But there you go, that's going to be easy to put on. One thing I noticed, there's no provision on the back for your battery. Where do you put your battery? Well, I guess you stick it in your pocket. They do provide quite a long battery lead, and it's quite interesting. The battery lead comes with the JST connector, voila, so you can plug it into your little batteries, and it also has an adapter to plug it into an XT60. That's really handy because I have a mixture of batteries, and I'm often having to make my own little leads up so that I can use the battery I want with my glasses or my goggles. Now, one thing I have to say is I don't like this. This is stiff as, it's like, silicon wire is nice, please. Can we have silicon wire? Because whenever you have stiff wire like this, even if you've got heat shrink on there, it's going to fracture down here. Eventually it will fracture, and there's nothing worse than being 2 miles away from home, and you jiggle your wires and the picture goes black. What do you do? So I would replace this with a nice silicon wire. This is just way stiff. Even these here, this is plastic coated wire. It should be silicon for these wires because they will encounter a lot of movement, a lot of stress when you're flying, and eventually they will fail. And FPV gear, you cannot afford unexpected failures because not only is it dangerous to your model, it can be dangerous to people who might be below if you lose control of the model because you can't see it. There you go. Now, as I say, diversity, this has, I'll tell you what kind of connector. It has SMA connectors, not reverse SMA, so there you know. It comes with 2 antennas. We'll speak about those, shall we? We've got the little BvOne 5.8 gig circularly polarized antenna. I've looked at these before. They are about middle of the pack in terms of performance. They're not the worst, but they're not the best. But hey, it comes with the video visor, and I don't think either of the other visors I reviewed recently came with a circularly polarized antenna. So that is better than your rubber ducky. It comes also with this. What is this, I hear you say? Speak up. Yes, I can hear you saying it from here. This is a patch antenna, 5.8 gig patch antenna, but it's not circularly polarized. It's just a patch antenna. So there's no point in mixing linear and circularly polarized antennas on the same piece of kit because what will happen is your linearly polarized antenna will pick up all the reflections that your circularly polarized antenna is designed to reject. So it kind of defeats the purpose. So if I was using this, I would make up, it's not so bad perhaps if you're flying very high, if you've got a glider or you've got a fixed wing and you're flying high, then the patch antenna will give you some extra range. But if you're flying mini quads, I would replace that with a 2 or 3 turn, maybe 5 turn helical, or just another circularly polarized antenna. So you don't lose the ability to reject the reflections, which are very prominent in low-level FPV due to the Fresnel zone. If you don't know what the Fresnel zone is, I did a video on that. Go and have a look. Search for it, or I'll put a link in the description. Right. The front of this is got the normal nice cushioning that'll absorb the sweat, as they say in the instructions. It'll absorb sweat, and it's comfortable on your face. And this, look, European noses. A Roman could wear this without banging their nose on there. And that's great. However, I have found quite a lot of light leakage through there because it is a really big hole and light will leak up from underneath. So maybe they've gone too far here. I don't know. You could put your own foam in there. They don't give you foam. You could put foam in there to contour that and block the light. But out of the box, when I put this on, there's a lot of light leakage up the side of my nose, and I've got a pretty big hooter. So I think that's something that needs to be addressed. It's not a deal breaker, but it just would be nice if they addressed that. Inside, you've got a LCD. It's a, what is it? I'll have a look in the book because I forget, because I'm old. Hang on a minute. Looking. It is an 800 by 480 pixel display, so that's pretty good resolution. That's not bad. I did notice some small artifacting from the Fresnel lens, because it's not a solid lens, it's a Fresnel. So I did notice a little bit of that, no more than many of the other video visors that use the same technology. So yeah, it's nothing to grizzle about really. Now the system has 4 buttons on the top, so we can basically change the band and the channel. I like being able to change these independently rather than just having a scan button which wraps you through the channels and picks up the strongest one, because my signal may not be the strongest one and I might want to select it before I take off and fly while someone else is flying. Now also we have a menu button and a scan button, so we can do the auto scan. That's fine, that works honky-dory. One of the things I'm not so impressed with is both the battery lead and the external video lead come in on the top of the goggles. I mean, it's like almost like an afterthought, like there's nowhere to route these. It's just like they're just going to dangle. And the reason they've done this, I think, according to what they say in the brochure, is to keep all the heat generating equipment on the top of the video visor so that you don't have heat coming up from the bottom and heating up the lens inside and heating up the LCD. This keeps the heat radiating out. Some little holes here which probably help heat reduction by letting air travel out there. Still, I'd have liked to have seen these in a more convenient place, even if it meant they had to run a wire and you had these things on the bottom so the wires were out of the way. But again, it's not a big thing, it's only a small thing. And I said the focus of this is small and lightweight. Now, I have worn these and you notice there's no adjustment for the lens. This is fixed focal length there, no adjustment, not like the Cyclops or the Hobby King. There's no movement here, so you're pretty stuffed. They say in the instructions, let me just get them, I think they say that it's designed for people with, it says in the book that it has an ergonomic fit and that BvOne can be used directly even when you have short eyesight problem, less than 450 degrees. I don't know how eyesight's measured in a number of degrees, but yeah, so if it says it's good for short-sighted people, well, I'm short-sighted, but only mildly, and I can't use this. The focus is way out for me. And unfortunately, because they've gone for small size and lightweight, my glasses won't fit inside these goggles like they do in the Cyclops. So I really can't use this video visor myself, but I'm sure people younger than me with better eyesight will have little problem. But yeah, if you're an aging person like myself who wears glasses, then this probably isn't the visor for you. But if you're a young chap with perfect eyesight, I don't think there'll be a problem. Now, let's look at some of the claims they've made for this thing. It's really lightweight, they said. So let's get the scales that don't show the blood and we'll measure the weight and see if it is really that much lighter than the competition. Okay, let's turn that on. Whoops, move the cord out of the way first. Voila, there we go. And I will put I'll take the leads off because they're not very heavy anyway, and I'll just make it difficult to measure it. So let's put the visor with antennas, no battery, on the scales, 249 grams. That is pretty light. I mean, let's face it, that's pretty damn light. And you can feel it when you pick it up. It's really nothing to it. Fantastic. So let's do some comparisons. Here is the Quantum Cyclops. Again, no battery, but with an antenna. And it is 407. So yeah, that's appreciably heavier. Appreciably heavier, that one. And let's take the Kylan goggles, which, again, I think they're probably even heavier still. Oh yes, 492 grams. So yeah, the BvOne video glass is definitely very, very light. Let's have a look at size. Let's do some size comparisons. Right, here we have the BvOne versus the Kylan from KDS. And if I just put this on my little measuring mat here, this turns out to be about 140 millimeters deep. The Kylan from the same position is, it's about 155. So these are shorter, but not a lot shorter than the Kylan, actually, to be totally honest, when you take account the curve. But having said that, these do have quite a bit more curve in the front, so they fit your face better. These are very flat. So if I was to line up the front part of the curvature with the front part there, oh, no, still there's not a lot of difference, actually. They are pretty comparable lengthwise. Let's get the Quantum Cyclops. Now, that is a long set of a long video visor, but it does have that ability to adjust the focal length, which is absolutely excellent because I can use these, and of course you can wear your glasses as well. That is quite a bit longer. If we look at that, you can see, yeah, that really pokes out quite a bit more than that. If I measure this, this is about 180 millimeters deep. This one still hasn't changed. It's about 120, 130 millimeters deep. So yeah, much, much longer on the Quantum. Now let's look at the width, get an idea of the width. The Quantum is a little bit wider. I'll turn around this way, probably the best way to compare the widths. The Quantum is a little bit wider, but yeah, not a hell of a lot, maybe a centimetre or so. And the Kylin, well, that's pretty wide too. That's, again, it's about a centimetre, maybe 2 centimetres wider. So yeah, as for height, well, certainly in height, the BvOne is quite low profile. Let me reach around here, I'm just banging wires, sorry about that. It's quite a low profile visor compared to the Kylin. And compared to the Quantum Cyclops, it is, well, it's actually bigger than the Quantum Cyclops in a vertical plane. It's actually deeper height-wise than the Quantum. So yeah, it's smaller, it's definitely lighter, it's only marginally smaller, and you do sacrifice a little bit for that reduction in size and weight. Primarily the ability to use it with glasses and the ability to use it if you've got short sight vision or long sighted vision, because that lends it so one size fits all, and if it doesn't fit your face or your eyes, then you're buggered. Now, as I say, the other thing is the position of these cables that we plug into the thing. I really would have liked to see them, this up here, yeah, not so good. Even if they'd ran it round to the bottom, it would be better. But there we go. I mean, I can't really grizzle other than that. It certainly seems to do what it says. I haven't flown it yet because we've got rain again, but I'm going to put my mini quad on here, take a look through the lens, see what it looks like in the real world. You'll see what I see. Okay, here we go. I'll plug in the mini quad, if I can find the battery for it. What have I done with the battery for it? Oh, man. Here it is. Found it. Don't worry. No panic, folks. It's all under control. Here we go. Plug in the mini quad, and obviously it's not on the right channel yet, so I'm going to use the scan button to try and find the right channel. Here it is, called search. Let's press the search. Actually, I'll pull in a bit tighter first so we can see exactly what's going on here without, maybe I'll move the camera in so we don't get so much reflection on that screen. Oh yeah, a bit dodgy with the reflection here. Hopefully we can see that. I know what, I can't turn out the lights because then there'll be nothing for the camera to look at. Bear with me, folks, while we work our way through this situation here. I'll turn off one of the lights. That'll give us a bit of, wrong one, it's always the wrong one, isn't it? That hopefully will have reduced the reflection a little bit, but not too much. Very odd that. Okay, here we go. I'll bring this up closer. Here we go. I'm going to press the scan button now, the search button, so we can hopefully find, where is it? Search, this one here. I'll press the search button, see how long it takes to scan the band. I pressed it, nothing happened. I'll press it again. There we go, you've got to press it twice by the look of it. It's now scanning the band. That didn't take too long, did it? That wasn't, whoop, there we go. A little bit of farting around, but there we go. There's the image. It's not too bad. No, that's pretty good. The Moire effect there is producing some colour effects, which are just artifacts of the pixel grid, but that's okay. You can see there's some writing up in the top left corner. I can't actually read that very well through the camera. Hopefully you can read it, but there you go. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to grizzle at that. That seems to work. I didn't expect anything less, of course. Most of these things are pretty good these days. There's a menu button somewhere. What does that do? Whoop, no, I think I pressed the scan button again. Oh, yeah, must have done. Here we go. So I'll press the other one, which should be the menu button. What's happened there? Ooh, I don't know what's happening there. Oh, why did that change? That's acting like a channel button. Go back to scan. Searching, there we go. Oh, now it's gone all woggy. What's going on here? Nope, now I've got blue screen. What's happening? Oh, I see it's cycling through the inputs. There's the diversity antenna. This other one was the RF. RFA, channel A1. RFB. There's not much mention in the instructions about this, but it looks like each channel can have a different frequency. You can flick back between them. That'd be quite nice. So you can watch, yeah, it'd be cool if this does as I think it does, then you can effectively use this as spectator goggles and look at two different models at the same time. Just set each receiver to a different frequency and switch backwards and forwards without having to fart around entering the channel and band. That'd be quite a cool feature. I'll try that out in the field, see if it works. Now, does it tell you what receiver you're on? I can't see because the writing doesn't show up very well against it says diversity channel raceband 7, but it doesn't tell me which receiver it's using, I don't think. which would be nice to know. I'd really love to know which receiver it was using. I'll take the antenna off one of these here, see if anything happens. Nothing happened. Take the other antenna off and put it over on the other side. See if we get anything on the screen changing to indicate that. No. So it doesn't look like we have any indicator which receiver we're using. That's a shame because it's nice to see that the diversity is working. If you can see something flicking over when you're changing from one receiver to the other. And I haven't seen it very often on diversity goggles. It does happen on diversity monitors. Sometimes they have an LED, but on the monitors like this, on the video glasses, nah, doesn't happen. So a shame, a shame. Now there doesn't seem to be too much distortion by the lens. That sort of curving of the board here, that's mainly by the lens of the mini quad, not by the lens of the lens on the camera, not the lens on the video visor. And from way back here, that picture looks good, but when I get my face up close, it goes blurry as hell because of my short-sightedness, which it really shouldn't, because short-sighted, it should be better up close. I don't know what's going on there, but there you go. Now, what else can I say about this? Not a hell of a lot, is there? So this may or may not be the set of video glasses or video visor for you. If you value the diversity, then that's a big point in its favour. If you value the lightweight and relatively compact size, that's another big point in its favour. But if you wanted something with a built-in battery, well, this isn't the one. And if you wanted something where you could use your glasses or had a variable focal length, this is not the one. So I think these are about $99 for a diversity video visor. That's not too bad actually. But again, it's horses for courses. I always say to people, always try before you buy if you can, but if you're buying online, of course, that's not really possible. So I'd invite anyone that's passing by the RC Model Review Studio at any time just to give me a call and drop in, and I'm happy to show you all the different video visors and goggles I have here. So you can make your own choice. I do that quite regularly for people that come to the studio, and I just let them have a look and they make their own decisions. And quite often it's amazing how different people value different things. So no, there's no perfect video eyewear. Everything is different depending on your own specific requirements. So there you go. Thank you to RCTimer for sending this in. I will be testing it on the weekend, giving it to other people who've got better vision than me and seeing what they think of it. So I'll be doing a follow-up video showing you just what people think of this thing, whether it's actually worth the $99, and whether it actually works as well as advertised. Because one of the things I haven't covered yet is that they're claiming a new kind of diversity technology, a version 3, which they say compares continuously the two signals and then enhances it with what they call AP circle and display. I have no idea what that means. Absolutely no idea, but apparently it makes for a better diversity experience. So I'll be looking a bit more closely at how that works as well. There you go. Now, if you've got questions, comments, anything to say at all, then please leave them in the usual place, and I will do my best to read them and answer them if I can. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Bye for now.